At a time when there's a lot of political division and tension, we witness economic hardships, we witness cultural confusion. How do we get our act together?
You know, first of all, let me pick from where Khalid has left.
Yeah.
There's this conversation that you cannot legislate morality. And if you've got a clash of morals, I mean, maybe you're Christian. I mean, understanding the Christian setup, and Dr. Kanga would confirm this, you don't allow polygamy. But in Muslims, they allow polygamy. So because you have all those clashes, then we've got the Kenyan Constitution, which is supposed to guide us. We even have the Leadership and Integrity Act, which speaks to our morals. We even have the EACC,
right,
the Anti-Corruption Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. We even have the Office of the Auditor General, the control of budgets. But when you look at the reports of the Auditor General and control of budgets, every single day, they point to people who are in elective positions or in positions of authority, misusing Mora's resources. I mean, these counties, every single day, the Auditor General goes to the top of literally Mount Kenya and complains about corruption. But guess what? The people who are mentioned as the corruption architects and beneficiaries are the ones we elect into office. So for some reason, if Mora and Halima will not stop rewarding corruption, then the moral decay you're talking about here, one would easily say that we have not seen nothing yet. Because corruption pays. You may have heard of hii kitu inaitwa mwizi wetu. When people are taken to the anti-corruption offices, you see all of a sudden there are demonstrations in town. Right. People come with placards, others dancing naked, lying prostrate. And then you wonder, do these demonstrators actually know the difference between right and wrong? But you know, we have answers. During the elections, we must sieve people and ensure that the people we are electing can actually demonstrate they've got character, competence, and capacity. And without having to blame Dr. Kanga, we've got many professional organizations which come around the elections. Okay. Like for instance, in Kisii right now, you have the Kisii Courier Professionals Group under Sam Nyamweya. And one of their raison d'etre is to say, they want to look at all the people who are offering themselves for election in Kisii and Nyamira and see whether they fit that test of character, capacity, and competence. Now, if they fit, then they will recommend them, they go for offices. But again, when you talk about our society, about economic hardship should not be a green light for you to engage in corruption. I mean, you go and harness the factors of production, you're going to make some resources. But if we do not punish impunity, mediocrity, and corruption, then you are going to be in trouble. And then at some stage, as I indicated earlier on, Kenyans want good governors. They want good leaders. But when the leaders call a spade, they raise issues. Like, for instance, the example we gave earlier on, when Honorable Musalia Mudavadi said we've inherited an economy in trouble, it's going to take about 3 years, people start saying, wait a minute, what are you telling us? When President Ruto says every single day, as late as this morning he said, that one of the things he's fighting is mediocrity. You know, there's a nexus between mediocrity and morality. Now, if you go to countries that have had very good outcomes, if you go to South Korea, you go to Japan, do you know in Korea, South Korea or Japan, if you do something which is morally wrong, majority of the people would rather commit suicide than face the nation. Right. That is why you have very high suicide rates in Japan. But what happens in Kenya when you steal public resources? When you go to church on Sunday, I don't want to use the Dr. Kanga, but the church leaders will give you a middle seat and they will say, our son or daughter has been blessed. Blessed how? When you have stolen resources for buying healthcare products for the hospital. Blessed how? When you have stolen resources to build a road. I mean, is that a blessing? You know, maybe now Dr. Kanga would give us the good definition of a blessing. You would get a young man like this gentleman who is 24, who wants to run for parliament. I'm just using him as an example. But when you get a young man who is 24, and he's said to be a billionaire, and he has not inherited a fortune from the parents, and he has not harnessed the factors of production so that we can say that he's made a profit. And what do pastors and priests do when he goes to church? Everything comes to a standstill. I don't know whether it happens in mosques, but everything comes to a standstill. He's given a seat right in the middle. The pastor or the priest will start sweating, and as soon as they're given the sadaka and a token of appreciation, they say, huyu kijana wa fulani amebarikiwa. Na nyinyi wengine kama mtoi sadaka, you are not going to be blessed. Now, in Kenya, you even have some of the clips you've played here. How is it possible that there is no peer pressure or peer regulation from the Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, from NCCK, when you have ordained ministers, they say the ordained ministers of God, going to the top of Kenya and making some proclamations that you begin to wonder, is this actually a pastor? Is this actually a priest?
Dismas, I want you to hold it there.